Her family went from celebrating her birthday to planning her funeral. Welcome to Young Black Lives Honored. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Let me know your thoughts about this case in the comment section below, and I encourage you to leave heartwarming messages for those who are still reeling from this loss. On January 10th, 2023, Aonesty Selby celebrated her 18th birthday, but the celebration would be short-lived when her family realized they had not heard from her since the following day, January 11th. Selby was reported missing to the James City County Police Department in Williamsburg, Virginia on January 11th. The teen was initially believed to have been in the company of several people prior to her disappearance. As concern grew, on January 13th, Aonesty's friend realized that the missing teen had shared her location via social media on the 11th after 8 p.m. The friend was also able to ping the phone's location to an area in the 13,000 block of Blue Ridge Trail in Windsor. According to Selby's family, they'd informed the police before going to the site where they'd searched for her that night. The entrance to the old logging path was gated, so they walked unsure of what they'd find but remained hopeful. The family called 911, which was routed to the Isle of Wight Sheriff's Office. Just before 9 p.m. and about 2 miles down, heartbreakingly, they found Aonesty gone in the middle of the path in the remote area. Police arrived soon after and secured the scene. According to her aunt Ebony, she was fully clothed with her normal full face of makeup and her hair styled. There were no signs of a struggle. Ebony also shared that her niece's body looked as though it had been placed there. The only other thing out of place was the blood around her mouth and nose, according to the aunt.
Just her being here. I'm just gonna miss her, period. She's just supposed to be here.
We're just so confused as to how this could have happened. But I think it's just more sadness.
A friend of Aonesty says she wasn't the type to put herself in harm's way.
As of I know, she never really seemed to involve herself in anything that could potentially put her in danger.
Law enforcement initially deemed her passing as suspicious. Aonesty's remains were sent to the office of the chief medical examiner in Norfolk for an autopsy, which was completed on January 16th, finding that Aonesty passed as a result of a single discharge wound which entered her skull under her nose. Selby's passing was later ruled a homicide, and her phone was also recovered at the scene, and investigators conducted a forensic examination on it. No user-generated activity was found after January 11, 2023 at 10 p.m. As a result of the data on her phone, deputies said the teen took an Uber from Williamsburg to an apartment complex in Newport News just before 1:50 p.m. on January 11th. Deputies said they learned Selby may have been seeing a man named Darius who lived in Newport News. He had sent her $30 via Cash App from an account named Lucas Duke in order to take an Uber to his apartment. Then the pair drove to Isle of Wight to smoke Mary before an argument broke out. An interview with Selby's roommate revealed she was dating a man named Darius and that the roommate had seen the two of them on FaceTime together. Investigators were able to identify Darius as 21-year-old and Darius McClellan. Captain Thomas Potter with the Isle of Wight Sheriff's Office said investigators discovered Aonesty and McClellan had been dating off and on for the past 2 months. Deputies also credited the county's license plate recognition or LPR camera system, which they said captured the vehicle used. The firearm, a Glock 9mm, which was retrieved by Darius's brother, the owner, after Darius attempted to sell it to an unidentified individual and had given it to them in a plastic grocery bag.
Research revealed that he and his brother resided at an apartment in on Coral Key Place. Also, it was determined that a 2021 Dodge Charger with North Carolina license plates was registered to Andarius's brother. During the course of the investigation, investigators searched the Flock LPR camera system. That 2001 Dodge Charger registered to Andarius's brother is caught on an LPR camera leaving Isle of Wight County and entering Newport News at 10:47 p.m. on the 11th. Interviews with Andarius's brother revealed that Andarius and Aonesty were at the residence in Newport News on the 11th, and they both left together at approximately 7:15 p.m. that evening. During the investigation, it was learned that Andarius's brother kept a 9mm handgun in the home, and on the morning of Friday, January 13th, Andarius McClellan attempted to sell that firearm but was unsuccessful. That firearm, which we believe is the weapon, was recovered from the house as a result of the search warrant conducted in Newport News last night. Based on several other interviews and our investigative processes, search warrants were obtained for the home and person of Andarius McClellan, his brother's car, which was impounded by our investigators yesterday morning.
Andarius was arrested by Isle of Wight Sheriff's Office investigators with help from the Newport News Police Department at his Newport News apartment and charged with second-degree fatality and use or display of a firearm in committing a felony. McClellan was transported by the authorities to the Isle of Wight County Sheriff's Office for processing, and as of this video is being held at Western Tidewater Regional Jail. Officials said he later confessed to the incident and then said he panicked and drove away. His preliminary hearing was scheduled for April 6, 2023.
He was cooperative through the interview, even though he was lying through quite a bit of it. Luckily, we had our ducks in a row and we had the information on how we believed that the timeline played out, so we were able to pick apart his story. But he appeared remorseful. He was crying and sobbing at one point. But at the beginning of it, he was giving information, but I would say it was in half-truths. He would tell us a little bit that was true and then take us off on a different route to try to hide the real story.
Unfortunately for Aonesty's family, they were once again facing tragedy. A little more than a year earlier, one of her aunts, 39-year-old Takia Deshae Berry, and her 3-year-old daughter, Allura Pledger of Manteo, were taken when discharges erupted on a street in Elizabeth City. An investigation determined they were in the wrong place at the wrong time, and among 6 people wounded and 3 to pass away in the December 2nd, 2021 incident. As of this video, 2 men, 34-year-old Ricky Lewis Etheridge Jr. and 37-year-old Terrence Tyrone Seymour, are awaiting trial on fatality charges. Aonesty, who was on track to graduate in May 2023, grew up on the Outer Banks, living with her mother and attending Cutterick High School. She was also close to her aunt and extended family in Mateo, spending Christmas there and visiting just a few days before she disappeared. In November, the teenager moved to Williamsburg to live with family and was attending school there. Her aunt Ebony described her as a sweet young lady who was always hopeful and loved her family. Aonesty had always been a girly girl with hair and makeup and had a special connection with children, Ebony said. Another one of her aunts, Stacy Bailey, described Aonesty as bubbly, outgoing, vivacious, funny, silly at times, and overall truly beautiful inside and out. She wanted to try all new things and was not afraid. Someone who enjoyed life and was eager to taste all that it offered. May the family and friends of Aonesty Selby find solace in the happy memories, and may her soul rest in perpetual peace. Thank you.